guys, today I'm going to do the TV series tag. Now, I discovered this on YouTube and all of the videos that I've managed to find that people have done for this tag are in French, which is not really that helpful since I can't really remember most of my high school French. But I took the questions and have sort of translated them into English to the best of, I'm going to be honest, Google Translate's ability. And so there's a couple of them that I'm not 100% sure what it's actually asking, so I might just bypass them. So there's about 12 questions when I take out the ones that I don't understand. And I thought that it would be fun to do because, you know me, I love a bit of television, and so without further ado, I'll get going because there are quite a few questions, and I hope that you enjoy. Question 1, what is the first TV series that you watched? I don't know, I can't remember. I watched a lot of sort of children's TV as a little kid, and also I watched Home and Away Neighbours from quite an early age because my mum watched them every day, and so up until a certain age I didn't really know what was going on in them, but I've watched them my whole life. But I think the first one that I kind of set out to deliberately watch on my own was Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and I to this day love Sabrina. I think you can get the DVD box sets on, you know, Amazon or wherever, and there's part of me that's kind of tempted to get them because it just is that really nice nostalgic sort of feel looking back to childhood, so I loved Sabrina. Question 2, what is your latest TV discovery? My latest TV discovery is Life Unexpected. I have been watching this on Netflix and I'm already on season 2. There only are 2 seasons. And I'm absolutely in love with it. It's amazing. I knew that I was going to like it. I've wanted to watch it for quite a while, but I hadn't got around to it, and then when I saw that it was on Netflix I was like, now is the time, you're going to watch this. And it's just absolutely great. If you haven't watched it and you haven't heard of it, essentially the concept is a 16-year-old girl, or a girl who's about to turn 16, who was put up for adoption as a baby, goes to track down her birth parents so she can become legally emancipated, because she's just gone from foster home to foster home. She's never been adopted. But she tracks down her parents who were 16 when she was born, and it just wasn't the right time for them to be parents. They weren't even a couple, and yeah, she finds them and is put actually back into their temporary custody, and it's just them kind of figuring out how to be parents, and her figuring out how to trust people to actually stick around for her. And it's lovely. It's got a nice bit of romance in it, you know, I love a nice bit of romance, and I love that kind of family dynamic show. I wrote my dissertation for my film and TV degree on parent-child relationships in TV teen dramas, and so this is completely right up my street. It's just... Question 3, how many series do you watch? Well, this is how Google has translated this question, so I'm not entirely sure if that means how many series have I watched ever in my entire life, or how many series do I watch at any one time. Ever in my life, I don't want to even hazard a guess, so we're gonna ignore it if it's that. But how many do I watch at the one time? I'm quite happy to watch a handful of shows at any one time. Usually when it's a new show, I'll only probably be watching 2 or 3 maybe new shows at any one time, but I'm constantly revisiting old shows that I love dearly. Things like Lost and Gilmore Girls and Veronica Mars, Being Erica, these kind of things I'll watch over and over again, and I don't mind rewatching them. I know a lot of people, even my parents, don't really like rewatching something, especially not too quickly after they've watched it the first time, because they're like, oh well, I know what happens. But for me, that's part of the joy of rewatching something, is picking up on new things and seeing things that you didn't see before, and revisiting those characters that you've loved from before. So yeah, I'll watch. I don't really have a limit on how many shows I'll watch at the one time. I like to have something dramatic on the go and something sort of comedic on the go at any one time. So yeah, I have no limit. What famous series does not tempt you or do you not have any interest in watching if you've already started to watch it? This one is quite easy for me because I have watched 1 episode of this show and that was absolutely enough, and I didn't want or feel the need to see any more, and that is Deadwood. So if anyone has watched Deadwood, it is an HBO series, and it's a western, and it's very, very aggressive from the 1 episode that I've seen. There is just more swearing than you could ever imagine. There's more swearing than there is in Dexter, and Dexter's got a ton of swearing in it. And I'm not really that easily offended by that kind of thing. It doesn't really bother me, but it just felt very over the top, and I'm not really all that interested in Western sort of series anyway. Western as in, you know, like cowboys and horses and all that stuff, not Western as in the Western world. You know what I'm talking about. So yeah, Deadwood I watched one episode of. I watched it in uni in my contemporary television class, and I just thought, no thank you. We watched it, Deadwood and Mad Men in the same day, and my sort of polar opposite feelings of just adoring Mad Men and thinking it was just fantastic and really disliking Deadwood, just it was quite a roller coaster of a class. But yeah, I have no interest in Deadwood. Question 5. Which character do you feel that you compare yourself the most to? I don't know. I suppose maybe when I was a little bit younger, I would probably compare myself to Rory from Gilmore Girls, because I was that very shy, loved to read kind of teen, and she kind of just, and you know, I'm close to my mum and whatever, and so I don't know, probably when I was younger it would be Rory. Now, maybe Erica from Being Erica. I love Being Erica, and she is just one of these people who, the minute that I started watching Being Erica, I've talked about this show before, it's one of my all-time favourites, I just adored Erin Carpluck, the actress who plays her, from the minute that I started watching it, and I felt this really kind of close connection to the character from the minute that I started to watch it, so I would probably say Erica. Question 6. Which character do you feel closest to? Okay, I've accidentally just answered that in the last question. Okay, so we'll restructure that and say, for who do I compare myself most to? Rory from Gilmore Girls. Who do I feel closest to? Erica from Being Erica. I'm skipping past question 7 because I don't understand it. I'm going to read this out and see if anyone else can figure out what this means. Which character would you be likely set out? Appointment and the whole shebang. I wonder if that means which character would I like to go on a date with? Maybe? Okay, I'm going to say, if that is what that question is, I'm going to say that I would like to go on a date with Nate Archibald from Gossip Girl, because, let's be honest, he may have been unfortunate enough to not get the best storylines in the show as a whole, but he is a lovely guy, and, you know, it's Chase Crawford. No, I know, I've changed my mind. I would like to go on a date with Elijah from the Vampire Diaries, because he is suave and sophisticated, and I don't care that he is a 500-year-old vampire. He is gorgeous and very nice and charming and elegant and just lovely. So yeah, I don't know if that's what that question wanted me to say, but I want to go on a date with Elijah from the Vampire Diaries / the originals. Okay, next question. In which city, real or imaginary, from a TV series would you like to live? I would like to live, just for a very brief period of time, first of all, I would like to live in New York, circa Gossip Girl, because the glamour and excitement and beautiful parties and all that stuff would be amazing. You know, for a couple of years, if you had money, that would be great. And then it would all become too much for me, and I would get irritated by all of the drama and scandal. A couple of years later, I would like to move to Stars Hollow, where Gilmore Girls is set, because it is the cutest little town in the world. So that's where I would like to live. Okay, skipping past another couple of questions because I don't really understand them. And this is what happens when you use Google Translate, because it doesn't translate it properly for you. This one's quite funny actually. There's 2 in a row that I don't get. Question 9. How do you set would certainly not find you stuck? I don't even know how to go about figuring out what that one means. And then the next one says, which character do you most not want to have to do? So yeah, on a slightly uncomfortable level, is that saying which character do I least fancy? I don't know, I'm going to just quietly ignore that one. But yeah, the next question is, which character would be your best friend? I would want Veronica Mars as my best friend, because she is absolutely awesome. She is the feistiest, cleverest, most amazing character, and you know that she would always have your back and she would do anything for you, and she can solve crime. And I also have a complete and utter love for Kristen Bell, as anyone who knows me will tell you. So Veronica Mars would definitely be my best friend if I had a best friend from a TV show. Which character would you like to steal their wardrobe? easy Blair Waldorf from Gossip Girl, because she always just looks absolutely stunningly gorgeous and amazing. So yeah, I'm going to steal her wardrobe because she just looks fantastic and she has access to all the fancy clothes, so you know. Okay, which character do you love to hate the most from a series? Well, there's a character who I hate more than anyone else in any TV show that I've ever watched, and that is Lila. Now I can't remember her name. I think it's Lila from Dexter. I just despised that character with every ounce of my being. I hated her so much. She, like, all credit, I've mentioned this before I think in my Dexter video, which I'll link below, or link here. All credit to Jamie Murray. She played that part fantastically, because I was so angry every time she was on screen I could barely contain myself. So yeah, definitely hated her, but that wasn't a love to hate thing. I didn't enjoy hating her. It actually stressed me out how much I hated her. So which character did I love to hate? I suppose maybe someone like Ben from Lost, because I did have a very much love-hate relationship with Ben. There were moments throughout the show where you genuinely couldn't imagine disliking him anymore, and then there were these moments that came in where you were like, oh, actually I feel for you, and you've got a lot more dimensions to you. I mean, like, the way that Michael Emerson played that character was just superb. He was so good. And yeah, so I would probably say maybe Ben for the character that I love to hate. Okay, so the final question is, who is your favourite minor character from any show that you've been watching? And I find this one quite difficult, but I came up with somebody, and I don't know if they're minor anymore because I've missed the entire, like, last season of this show, but I really loved August / Pinocchio from Once Upon a Time, from season 1. I've only seen half of season 2, and I haven't seen any of, I think season 3's, I don't know how far in it is, but I haven't seen any of that, so I don't really know if he's a minor character anymore. Maybe he's not even there at all, but I really loved him for the few episodes that he was in. I loved the relationship that they were kind of building up between him and Jennifer Morrison, whose name I've forgotten. No, what's her name? Emma. Yeah, I've loved the relationship that they were building up between him and Emma. I am aware that there's a relationship between her and Captain Hook, who is a very attractive man, if the little snippets of the episodes that he's in that I've seen are anything to go by. But yeah, I really liked August. I thought he was a really interesting character. And someone who, the minute that he was in it, I was like, I want to know more about him, I want to see a bit more of him. And then I think things kind of changed, and I don't know what's happening now, but I'm going to catch up with that show at some point. A couple of examples of this video that I watched in preparation for filming this, or that I read the description boxes, included a kind of list of some of their top favourite TV shows of all time in the description box, so I'm going to do that. So if you want to see what some of my favourite shows of all time are, click in the description box and you will see. So that's it for this video. I'm going to go now because the lighting has gone horrific, and it's really annoying because I wanted to use this afternoon to film a few videos, but that's not going to happen. So I hope that you've enjoyed this. I tag anyone who loves TV to answer these questions, and leave me a link to your video in the comment section below, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye! I'll say to one of my friends, like, oh, I think he's really hot, and they'll be like, who? Really? Him? And vice versa. They'll be sitting maybe talking about someone that they fancy, and I think,